Up and at 'em. 6 a.m. on a July the 2nd. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, as we move into the back half of the year, entirely focused on Copa America or UEFA Europe, Wimbledon.
A lot of soccer.
A lot of soccer, yes, a lot of soccer.
Proper football.
And we would have had Tony Annan in today, but he is in Houston on business.
I know. He wants to go out there and recruit players and try and make his program better. He doesn't understand. We have important things to do in the studio today. We are reviewing Oasis, What's the Story, Morning Glory, and we needed a proper British lad to talk through this. And he's not here. Minus full coach today.
Not in studio, not in town.
Missed assignment.
So, yeah, we'd love to talk some Portugal and Slovenia. Did you watch any of that yesterday?
Absolutely not.
Cristiano Ronaldo crying on the field.
Oh, poor baby.
Dead serious, not joking. Missed a penalty kick, cried on the field.
Yeah, I thought I saw on Twitter that his mother was crying in the stands.
Yeah, they were all crying. And then they won. Portugal won in penalty kicks yesterday, but
he's still the most beautiful man on the planet. So even through his ugly tears, I'm sure he's still was absolutely stunning and charming. What a charmed life for that guy. He's doing okay.
And he's one of the most well-paid people on the planet. Although Jason Tatum, Preston Thorne, NBA free agency rolls on. Jason Tatum trying to meet him yesterday. 5 years, $314 million. I don't ever know what to think when I see numbers like this because they're not Jordan. And Jordan never made money like this.
Well, yeah, money's different now, but I know exactly what I think. I think, like the great Big Aristotle told us, if you see him getting paid that much money, imagine how much money the owners are making because they're not paying out more than they're making. That's the first thing I think. If you can afford to pay somebody $300 million, business is good.
I don't know how this works, but when the Celtics sign a contract like this, but their ownership group plans to sell a majority stake, does that mean you're purchasing debt?
In a roundabout way, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That means we can sign somebody to a contract because guess what? I'm not going to be here to pay it. So do what you want to do with
go ahead. Sign him whatever he wants. We're not going to be here to pay that out. But all those kind of odd things yesterday in the big world of sports. Soccer, Uruguay defeating United States 1-0. Oh, yeah, by the way, I had fun with that last night as we celebrated our good buddy, our buddy who puts on the Lake Murray Poker Run, the Lake Murray Powerboat Run, Brett Lasso. We celebrated his birthday. We all pretended to figure out we were official soccer aficionados, so we toyed with the names. Uruguay.
Oh, okay.
But Uruguay sounds more professional, right?
No.
Sounds more kind of like his British accent a minute ago. United States, Uruguay.
That is one way to say it, but also they are known as Uruguay by the locals.
Well, look at that.
Uruguay.
Put that on the podcast. Put it on the podcast.
Shout out to one of my best friends growing up, Carlos Fonseca from Uruguay.
There you go, Jen. I wasn't as far off as you initially thought I was I?
No, you always kind of talk like you got maybe a couple toes in your mouth or something. So that
I wasn't as far off. Look at me.
Only one toe.
Well-rounded, very, very sophisticated. So a lot of soccer. Not necessarily what we're going to focus on today, as we will talk a little bit about Lamont Paris. Preston, Lamont Paris speaking yesterday, updating.
Talking season in July?
It's talking season in July.
I just looked up and there was a lot of Lamont clips. I was like, what's going on here?
And Lamont just played with the media. Had a press conference, said he might name an assistant very soon, and later in the afternoon named an assistant.
Said very soon.
And brought an assistant back, Will Bailey, back for another stint with the University of South Carolina. We'll get into that. We'll let you listen to a lot of what Lamont had to say. But, yes, talking season in July. Well, look, he gets it. And he knows this is the month to flap the gums and talk a little bit about your sport.
He knows that those guys in the early game Not much sports going on.
No, there's not.
So I need to feed them something.
So
And we appreciate it, Coach.
Lamont will, Coach Paris will carry us through the morning, along with Preston's new, I don't want to say poll question because we don't have a poll up, but sides for your hot dogs.
Yeah.
Or hamburgers.
Sides for your fourth. Yeah, sides for your fourth. Yesterday we talked about condiments and toppings, but now today is another important conversation about sides because, again, the meal is one thing, but the sides are what makes it a well-rounded affair. And so we have to figure out what's going on with people's sides. Are there rules, are there philosophies, or things that people are doing, ways of living as far as the side conversation is concerned?
I think I'm going to have a hot take on this.
Okay.
I think there is a clear-cut 4th of July #1 that, quite frankly, this time of year, you have to have it. And I'm not real sure if I like them at any other point in the year.
Ooh, that was a clue. Them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And there's also some factors here because there's what I label as a side, and what I also label as a dessert more of, if that makes sense. A true side that goes with your hamburger or your hot dog, and then an actual kind of, maybe not an actual dessert, but I feel like we have categories here that you have to have.
Okay. All right.
Well, so we'll get into that. We'll get into all that this morning. If you want to be a part of the program and you want to weigh in on soccer or Coach Lamont Paris and what he had to say yesterday, 803-404-6100, how you can join us. It'll be my final day here. Preston, it'll be Preston and Tyler tomorrow. Jen and I, not together. Jen goes north. I go south tomorrow. We will go as far away from each other as we can possibly get.
I like that. I really like that visual.
Yeah.
Kind of like in...
You go north and I'm going south. It's a vacation for both of us.
Kind of like in Home Alone, they show the airplanes on the radar. You know, one's going to New York, one's going to Miami.
What is it? You're going to Chicago. I'm going to Tampa. We're going in opposite directions.
Dude, actually, my son's in Tampa right now. Don't go find him.
Lacrosse. Met a friend of yours last night. You got complaints. You need to speak more lacrosse, from what I understand.
Oh, okay.
We'll discuss that.
Okay, yeah.
I'll discuss that.
Hey, I think lacrosse is awesome.
Discuss that off air and make sure we're okay with discussing some stuff. So 803-404-6100. I tell you what, let's let Gamecock Larry speak. Gamecock Larry, how you doing this morning?
Man, I'm feeling just fine. But I want to give me a few minutes now. First, I want to say I've got the schedule written down and know when everybody's going to be back. I don't know how in the world I'm going to do without Bill for 5 days. But I ain't going to call in after the day, so I got to say it all this morning. And I don't know how in the world when you do come back and Jen ain't come back till Wednesday or Thursday, I don't know how in the world you two guys are going to hold the morning show. I don't know how you're going to keep it together because she's the glue that keeps that morning show together. She's the glue to keep you and Preston together. I'll tell you what, Jen is the best. And I ain't going to say who's the second or third, but that's okay. Let me see. I had something else I wanted to say. And you're going to be gone. Well, you'll all be back together next Thursday at least. So I'm going to put it down in my book so I can take me a melatonin the night before so I can sleep late the next day. I done that one morning last week, and I slept until 7 o'clock. I missed half of the show, and that kept me behind time 3 hours all day. So I got to take it when you all ain't going to be there because you all really make my day. I really enjoy listening to 107.5 all day just about. But then I want all Gamecock Nation and the Clemson fans too, Bulldogs, Gators, Wildcats, all of it. Have a good 4th, and old Gamecock Larry just might not bother you all until about Wednesday or Thursday. But I'm doing okay, but have a good day and enjoy the 4th. And the only thing I want on the 4th of July is a hot dog, some potato chips, and a cold body armor. That's about all I want. Go Gamecocks. 30 days, no, 20, I don't know how many days. Old Gamecock, Larry getting pretty close to the 9-0. Big 9-0. The good Lord said he's going to give me 11 more so I could say I'm 101. Go Gamecocks. Love all of y'all. Talk to you later. Oh, yeah, Root Hall, you done lied. You done told me wrong. You done had me all. I done. Oh, yeah, Bill, that's the question I wanted to ask you. 107.5, did they come on the air in 2007 or 2009? When did you come on the air?
Jen, you got an answer for that? You got an answer for him on that? Do you know?
For 107.5 the game?
Yeah. When did you come on there the first time? I said 2007.
I know.
And I think I'm right.
It was November 12th, 2007.
There you go.
Okay, 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 Root Hall. Remember what you said. Come on down, Bo. Thank you, Jen. I knew she had the answer. I should have asked her, and you wouldn't have had to put the old man on and let him run his mouth. 2007, November the 12th, 2007. That's what I said. He said it was 2009. Okay, I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy 107.5. Everybody have a good 4th. Be careful, be safe. Oh, Gamecock Larry. I'm going to try to stay off it, but if I hear one of you Tiger fans say something I don't like, I'm going to have to call. Okay. Talk to you later. Have a good one.
He's fired up.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there. I think I did see, not that it kind of ties in with this point, but yesterday was the 8-year anniversary of the announcement of me joining 107.5 The Game. Does that count for anything?
Say that again.
Yesterday was the anniversary, excuse me, the 8-year anniversary of the announcement of me joining 107.5 The Game. I saw that pop up on my social media.
Okay.
So I've been with you for 8 years.
Yes,
I know. I know.
Yeah, that was
That's why you're going to Chicago and I'm going to Tampa, getting away from each other.
Yeah, to celebrate our anniversary. We're going to go in totally opposite directions of the. Yeah, I tell you what, that first couple months was, nothing against you guys. It was we were trying to get adjusted. We didn't know each other, so you try to work on that chemistry and all that kind of stuff. And then I was gone a lot. Like Gamecock Larry would have given us a hard time, and I know we're on a break, but my dad ended up getting ill and passing away. And so like literally out of 48 days, I was here maybe like I was gone like 30 something. So that probably didn't help with but I think we got a good thing going. So
I think we're good.
Yeah.
We need to do a definitive history. Somebody needs to start working on that.
We can do that.
As a historian, you got to have those things documented.
We can work on that.
And I didn't even say anything about punching Bill in a producers meeting last night. Didn't say a word about that.
There you go. Yeah, the improvement in 8 years. All right, we'll hit a break and we'll come back, get into Lamont Paris and your 4th of July sides. I think I have a hot take on this one. We'll get to it. You're listening to the early game.
Preston here. Let me tell you about my friends at Integrated Media. It's time. We've been telling you all this time that it's time to get ready. Whether it's spring, summer, fall, we've been telling you, and now the time is finally here. So you got to get your indoor, outdoor setup ready with our good friends at Integrated Media. You want Samsung Terrace TVs that are waterproof? They can take care of it. You want sound system? You want Wi-Fi that's indoors and outdoors? They can take care of that too. Our friends at Integrated Media can get yourself set up for all your needs during the time that you need them. So call the folks at Integrated Media, and you can get set up with everything that you need as far as the house setup. You can get your windows set up, and you can get my favorite thing, you can get all your devices controlled just from one remote. So make sure you call the folks at Integrated Media. Make sure you call the folks at Integrated Media.
It appears we have just one accident to let you know about, and that's Oakcrest Road near North Trenham Road. So that accident to keep an eye out for. Nothing else to report, and we're okay with that. We're not looking for anything else. So be careful out there this morning. Sunny today and tomorrow, 91 and 94 respectively. Come Thursday, 97, and then we have a stretch of hot days for the weekend, 99 on Friday and Saturday, 97 on Sunday. But those heat indexes around 110. So it's going to be a hot weekend, and going to want to try to stay cool, stay very hydrated for hopefully for you, a long July 4th weekend. But right now, we are looking at a little bit of a breeze, and it's actually 69 on the early game.
Talking season, Preston Thorne. Talking season. So we can talk Lamont Paris. We'll get into that team chemistry.
Thank you, Coach.
Or we can talk 4th of July sides. Now, I think here's my hot take. I'm not a baked bean guy. I'm not even sure I like baked beans. But at 4th of July, I'm going to have some baked beans.
Ooh.
To me, that is the number one side for 4th of July. And if you can do it, probably, I think Cowboy Baked Beans, I believe, is the one that has the hamburger in it. Or
Yeah.
Called Cowboy.
Cowboy caviar. Isn't that what it's called?
That's, no.
No?
That's something different.
Is it something different?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's good also.
What is it?
Cowboy caviar.
Yeah.
It's like corn, black beans, green peppers.
Oh.
all sort of
That's
mixed
what that
up
is.
And, mixed
Okay.
up and cold, and that's really good too.
Okay.
But I do think that's what you're talking
But
about.
Bill, I'm with you on the whole baked bean thing because, in fact, I don't even necessarily have to have it. But to me, it just seems heavy and hot. It does not match summertime, but everybody has it.
4th of July. That's the only time I will eat baked. I couldn't tell you of another time that I will eat baked beans, but 4th of July I will. And Dakar weighs in and says, best side for 4th of July, my wife's baked beans with bacon, sausage, and onions. Unbelievable. Happy 4th to all.
Same. Happy 4th. Yeah, I mean, baked beans are incredible, and there's a lot of variations that you can do them. Obviously, you can throw different meats in there, maybe some different veggies in there. Depends on how sweet you want to. You want to go way far on the sweet meter, you can do that. Baked beans are solid. Yeah, you can, and also they're very forgiving, so you can do a lot of things, and you really can't mess them up.
I think I actually am ready to defend. Now, the other one, but again, I almost put it in another category as watermelon. Like watermelon. So, like, regardless, on the 4th, we've got to have a hot dog at some point you got to have a small side of baked beans, and I got to have at least one or two slices of watermelon. That's
a very solid plate. That's a very solid 4th of July plate. You got your meats, you got your quasi vegetables, you got your kind of fruit. Solid.
That's I think, and that's where I was going, because I would say watermelon is also a must-have, but I feel like watermelon is not a dessert, but it's more toward the end of the meal. You've got your hamburger or hot dog, whatever direction you want to go. Then you got your baked beans. And then Gamecock Larry threw out a very underrated just chips.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just chips.
Yes.
And not like Cool Ranch Doritos.
Correct. Just
or
straight up
Straight up
potato
chips.
chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another time of year where straight up, whatever brand you have, just the straight up chips kind of shine also.
So I don't know if that's a hot take or what, but yeah, baked beans would be my 4th of July, because I really honestly do not know another time of year that I eat baked beans, or even like, oh yeah, we should put that on the menu for.
Yeah, no, and Darren will pop them into Evan every once in a while. I'm just like, hot paste. Great. Yummy.
See, and this is why Tony Ann is falling on his job right now, because he would obviously come here and say, wrong. We have to have our proper English breakfast every morning.
Yeah.
But so, Tony, you're falling down on your job this morning. You're missing Oasis. You're missing baked bean discussion. You wait for all these things to happen. We need our across the pond correspondent today.
I told Preston, actually, I pulled up ESPN, and ESPN's got like a strong article on U.S. soccer. I mean, it just starts. The headline is why U.S. soccer needs to move on from Berhalter after Copa America failure. I was like, ooh, that's strong. And look, we'll get into this at some point in the next 3 years, 2 years, I think, when the World Cup is coming to America. We're expected to not necessarily win, but to kind of be respectful.
Good luck.
So
right now.
We'll get into that with Tony Annam. Right now, though, we're talking a little. Besides the baked beans hot take, what is your go-to side? What is your go-to? And I got to admit, the thing about the baked beans again is this is about the only window of time. You know, because you might have something today. Some of y'all might be off. You might be getting up today, and you're gonna make it a lake day, and you're gonna grill out with your friends or whatever. So I'm not gonna just say the 4th. But I'll say this little about 7 day window here, today through Sunday. Only time I'll contemplate baked beans. Can't even imagine another time that they even come into play.
Yeah, baked beans for me. I'm same.
Yeah.
Same.
It's one of those things, kind of, that like
they're hot and I don't know. And some people do make them more. I feel like maybe sometimes ours get cooked down too much, but so sometimes they can be kind of soupy or whatever. But again, if you're out there and you're outside and you're at the paper plate, then you have the heaviness of the baked beans. It's in there kind of running, and then it's getting into it's impacting the hamburger bun or the hot dog bun. And it's like, stay in your lane, baked beans.
Stay on your side of the plate.
Right.
So you need the plates. Need the plates that have the almost the little dividers.
Yeah. But growing up, it's like, okay, we didn't have that.
Yeah,
that was fancy. That was too fancy for the farm.
Oh, that's okay. Well, there's that. Yep, 803-404-6100. Send in your number one side. Now, I go with this: strawberries on top of bowberry biscuits. That's
like a southern strawberry shortcake, maybe. Okay.
Strawberries and
something
blueberries.
Something going on there. That's a more dessert-esque, but all right.
Okay.
Let it ride.
All right. There you go. 803-404-6100. We'll get that going this morning. Send in your number one 4th of July side. And again, I'll just say, just to repeat one more time, the reason I go baked beans is because I feel like I'm not going to see those at a football tailgate. I'm not going to see those at Thanksgiving. I'm not going to see those at Christmas. I'm not going to see those at an Easter lunch. This is the one time they get to really shine.
Yeah, cookout food for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely cookout food.
So there you go. Send in that. We'll get into some Lamont Paris. He talked a little bit of team chemistry. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Hey, it's Jen for CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. Recently, we needed a new cabinet for a bathroom of ours, and the process was great, just like it had been with our kitchen. They helped us figure out what we wanted, got it put in, no problems at all. Thrilled with the process with them. Same went with our kitchen when they helped us get everything put together, and then the photorealistic renderings that they gave us to help us put the rest of the kitchen together. It was great. It was a picture of our kitchen finished before it was actually finished, and that was fantastic. They do obviously more than kitchens. If you have a pantry, you just need it more organized. They can help you with that. In your bedroom or in your closet, if you're tired of the wire racks, they can help you get set up with that, maybe some different drawers. So many options, and they're very creative in helping you put all these things together. If you're looking to make some updates in your home, maybe creating an office workspace, CHWCabinetry.com is the place to go, or call them at 803-520-6837, and be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation. Still working that earlier tie-up Oakcrest Road at North Trenham Road. And as far as your forecast goes, 91 and 94 today under sunny skies. Maybe some clouds rolling in for the 4th. 97 will be the high. And then the weekend will just plain be hot. 99, between 97 and 99 the entire weekend. But the humidity will be up. And the heat index is around 110 for the weekend. So got to be a warm weekend on tap and a warm 4th. Kind of expecting that. But right now it's not too bad. A little bit of a breeze, she says. It is 69 on the early game.
.34 as we get you up here on a July the 2nd. Did do our countdowns. You got our countdowns here for where we stand with all the days?
60 days until the Old Dominion, 61 days until the Southern 500, 14 days until July 16th, which is the release of CFP. 17 days until July 19th, and today's album of the day, Oasis. What's the story, Morning Glory?
All right, we'll get to that coming up in
the Brits from across the pond.
Coming up in the next segment. Let's see. Text or ways and see this. I agree. This is a delicious side dish. I get it at a couple restaurants, but it doesn't feel like a 4th of July side dish, and that is lobster mac and cheese.
Okay.
A delicious side dish. I am totally. And then German tater salad.
Yeah.
Wait, German?
I don't know what German.
No, I thought you were saying the texter was German. No, you're saying German.
This is Ronnie texting.
Okay, all right, cool. German potato salad. All right,
he goes
cool.
lobster mac and cheese, but then also yesterday he said bun. In a discussed bun, little garlic butter on inside of the tater roll, slightly toasted. So he goes potato roll, potato.
He's a man of taste, I hear.
Yes, that's what it is.
Is the German, what makes it German is there's more like vinegar and bacon or something in it?
I don't know.
I'm not a connoisseur. It's funny. My mother-in-law was here and she said, okay, I made some potato salad for you. I didn't put onion in it because I don't know you don't like it. And all I could think was, apparently you missed the part where I don't like potato salad either. But thank you for being so sweet.
Potato salad is another one that I feel like is almost strictly regulated to 4th of July, that area. Maybe Memorial Day. 4th of July.
Yeah, summertime.
And if you want to, it's a...
Nothing like a little bit of mayo to sit outside all day at a picnic.
Yeah. What do you got for us on German?
German potato salad is, potato salad started in Germany.
Oh.
It is a German authentic, so that's where it started. However, that doesn't mean that they do it the best. They do it fine, but as with a lot of things, we in the South took it to another level. So German potato salad, cool. But if I had to tier things, it's not going to be my top potato salad.
Okay. All right. It's not going to be your top potato salad?
No.
As if there are other potato salads
yeah, absolutely.
I'm unaware of where you're going with this.
There's several different potato salads.
Are
you
there?
have Southern-style potato salad. You have German potato salad. Even if you go into Publix, there's New York-style potato salad. Southern-style tends to have a little more mustard, maybe relish. Your New York style might be a little bit more mayonnaise-based. So there's totally different things. You can whip your potato salad. A lot of different ways you can go about this potato salad that some people have the audacity to do with no mayonnaise, just doing oil. Get that out of here. Warm potato salad, some people do. Can't do that. So, yeah, the Germans invented it, but as with everything, America improved on it.
Don't ever say this show does not provide you quality, informative content.
I got to get sports hands on something, and if it has to be potato salad, it will be.
Did not see that coming at 6:37.
Yep.
We'll get back to this. I see some of y'all weighing in. I'm going to get to these fried deviled eggs. I will admit I'm not a deviled egg person, but I did try a fried one at a wedding one time.
Really? I'd love to. I'm curious as to what is involved with that because I do like deviled eggs. I think I make them pretty well too. Jesse,
send us your fried deviled egg,
please,
concoction so that we can pass that on to Jen. 803-404-6100. How you can do that? I get to more of those, but let's listen to a little bit of Lamont Paris. he spoke yesterday. He was talking about team chemistry. He was talking about his team chemistry as they get ready for the 2024 season. Here is a little bit of Lamont Paris.
Some of it, it's a process. That's what the summer, big part of what the summer is for. We also, this is a little different than last year, we have more guys returning, particularly guys that were key contributors than we did last year. So that helps with that whole process. But I don't think there's any secrets that I thought was one of the best qualities that we had was that we played well together. Guys enjoyed playing with each other and played for one another. And so a lot of that was fostered in the summer. We had the added benefit last summer of taking the trip to the Bahamas, which we don't have this year. You can only do it once every 4 years. But again, I think what might help to counteract the fact that we won't be able to do that is that we do have more guys coming back. So from the standpoint of terminology and culture and traditions and customs and things that we want to do, we have more of that. Even guys that didn't play last year, like Arden Conyers, that was redshirting, those guys still have heard the things that we're saying, and so hopefully those help expedite the process of getting comfortable and playing with one another and developing chemistry.
Before I ask you what you think about what he just said, there is a big piece to that, and that is that last year, I mean, they were a better basketball team. Let's just be clear about that. They were a better basketball team in year 2 under Lamont Paris than they were in year 1. There was more talent there. But being able to take that Bahamas trip last year and allow them to play a couple games and kind of develop that chemistry, I think is big. And that is one thing that I look at this year and wonder if they'll be able to move forward with, because that opportunity last year to just go and play a couple games, even if I don't really know how great the talent was that they played, but it allowed them to be on the court and develop some of that chemistry and learn Talon Cooper and BJ Mack and learn their specific roles. You're not doing that this year, and you're going to have different roles. Colin Murray-Boyles, and we'll talk about him coming up in the next hour. Colin Murray-Boyles now has to take his game up and be a BJ Mack. I don't know if he has to be the guy. Most people would probably say he has to be the guy. I'm interested. We'll talk about that the next hour. Cam Scott's coming in. He's got to learn his role, going from being the star-studded high school player to now stepping into college. You're going to have a new point guard in this situation. You're going to have guys who have got to fill. Zach Davis is going to be a guy who has to step his game up. So chemistry is important, but knowing your role probably even as important.
Well, the travel is what creates the chemistry. They can play those same games here in Columbia, and you don't have the opportunity for chemistry. It's something about getting out of your comfort zone, being in a different hotel room, eating all your meals together, doing all those different things that makes you figure out, like, oh, I actually like my teammates, or I don't know if this is going to work for the rest of the season. So they've played plenty of basketball. Right. So it's not going to be that. It's what it is being able to travel, seeing dudes in the airport. How do they react?
Singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall on the bus. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. All of those different things. Playing pranks on each other. When do we develop chemistry? Because it seemed as if, and we weren't in the locker room, but it seems as if last year's team genuinely appreciated playing with each other, and they genuinely had a connection. And that's going to be the challenge with them having all of these new, with some of these new faces coming in, and also the old faces adjusting to new roles. So chemistry is always going to be the thing that you have to work on from a coach's perspective, especially during this time in the summertime.
Yeah, you mentioned that's a good point about getting out, and obviously if you travel to another country and you're not used to it.
Yeah, you find out
some goofy stuff happens where you develop a story. Yeah,
dumb's gonna happen, and we're gonna have stories to talk about. You find out who has weird taste buds, or who's willing to try the exotic food, or whatever the case is. You just find out about your teammates, and you can't quantify it. You can't put it on a stat sheet for the dorks, but it does make a value as far as the team is concerned.
And that is it is a concern I have when you talk about they're going to upgrade the schedule. We'll talk more basketball this morning and let you listen to a lot of Lamont Paris. It's going to be a fun year, I think. It's one of the first times in a long time. We talked about this after the season ended. I was excited to see what this team's going to look like in November and for the 2024-2025 season. And but one of those things that does concern me is not being able to take that little trip and kind of develop that chemistry in a year in which a lot of roles are changing dramatically. And we'll talk about that. 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in. Gene says, I know it's simple, but just good coleslaw.
A good coleslaw. Shout out to Coach Roberts. A good coleslaw will go pretty strong. But again, there's varieties. Do you like the diced up coleslaw? Do you like how much mayonnaise in your coleslaw? Do you like the long cabbage, pepper? What are you doing? There's a lot of different ways you can go with this. So there's different things, and when you get down into the minutia of all of these sides.
803-404-6100. We'll get into more of that, and maybe a controversial side dish, because I've got David weighing in with deviled eggs. Hard no. Might go down a path.
Those are good.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Might be controversial. I feel like.
But then we'll go down the path later, because do you make them with mayonnaise or Miracle Whip?
Okay. See what we got going here on a Tuesday morning, July the 2nd. You're listening to Jen Jensen, Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. It is the early game.
Hey, it's Jen with CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. We had a demolition in that kitchen, had to get new cabinets installed. What a pain in the butt it was. But they were really helpful with the process, and I encourage you to call them as well if you need anything with drawers in your closets. If you need to have your pantry a little more organized, you want some of those wire hanging racks removed, they can help you with all of those things and more. Just had a guest bath that we needed a cabinet in. Again, flawless experience with CHW Cabinetry. Visit them today at chwcabinetry.com or give them a call at 803-520-6837. Be sure to tell them that Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. Passion from inspiration to installation.
supernova in the sky.
Someday you will find me company.
Never know what to expect.
In a champagne suit.
That is Oasis, Champagne Supernova, from their hit record, 22 million copies selling, 22 million copies sold of their hit album, What's the Story, Morning Glory. Now, Champagne Supernova holds up. When I listened to the rest of the album, phenomenal. Really good album. I was walking, listening to it, flowed one song into another. The song which I really associate with them, Wonderwall, very low on the list for the album. It was cool, but definitely not one of the highlights of the album when I listened to it. Now, here's the deal. You know they say hate is a strong word? It is appropriate to say that Noah and Liam Gallagher hate each other.
Now.
They're brothers.
Yeah.
They've always hated each other, apparently. As you go through the band starts, they break up several times. They get into fights. With them being so British, there's always these tabloid things. Sure. They're ruining hotel rooms. They're getting arrested. And I just want to say thank you, Noah and Liam, because somebody needs to be a rock star. Rock stars exist so that the rest of us squares can live vicariously through these folks who party hard, play loud music, full stadiums, they break up, they get back together, they hate each other, they never actually love each other, and they just make music because, oh, by the way, we make great music. And so the story of Oasis is a perfectly British story because it's so tabloid filled and you never know whether they're coming or going. Are they back together? Or they're permanently broken up now with no getting together in sight. But shout out to Noah and Liam Gallagher for, as soon as I started hearing this, I was instantly transported to a time in life where you'd be sitting around watching MTV and maybe Tabitha Soren might come up on there. Maybe Kurt Loder might tell you something that was happening. Allison Stewart, any of these folks that were on MTV, you're just waiting for the MTV news to pop up, and it's like, oh, Oasis breaks up again, and Noah broke a beer bottle over Liam's head, and you're like, oh, this is great. So shout out to a time period where you got your news from MTV News instead of the actual news. Shout out to Oasis.
They do miss that, yeah. I'm just reading because every morning when we do this, all of a sudden I pull up just to see, maybe learn a few more things. So I didn't know there was a Battle of Britpop. Battle of Britpop in 1995 between British pop bands Oasis and Blur. And they released songs on the exact, said they released, let me see, I think it said songs or albums, but they released songs on the same day on August 14th of 1995. Which it says setting up the Battle of Britpop that dominated the national news.
And again, this is why our correspondent MIA on the job today. We're talking baked beans, we're talking Britpop, we're talking UEFA. We need our correspondent Tony Annan here today to set us straight. Because I would like to know where he stands on Oasis. Did he like Oasis? Maybe he felt they were overplayed in Great Britain. Maybe he thought maybe that was his band. To me, Champagne Supernova feels as if I am in Tottenham at a pub after a game. The hooligans are out. A lot of bottles being thrown back. Fights happening. The match is 2-1 or something, and Tottenham just beat Everton or something along those lines. And I feel like Champagne Supernova is a song that after everybody fought, the DJ plays this song, and they stop fighting immediately and just start singing with each other.
Just, yeah, put your arms around each other. Yeah, this particular album, it was their second album, worldwide commercial success, selling over 4 million copies and becoming the 5th best-selling album in UK chart history. By 2008, it had sold up to 22 million copies.
22 million copies.
Becoming the 5th best becoming one of the best-selling albums of all time. Don't Look Back in Anger. Not familiar with that one. That was There was two of them. Wonderwall. It says the album produced two more singles, Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger, which reached numbers 2 and 1.
Those are great, but the song is the champagne supernova in the sky. That's the one. That's the song.
If you had Preston Thorne doing British pop music this morning, go buy a lottery ticket now.
I just love rock stars, man, because I am totally a square. And so for them to be able to just live their lives and Noam and Leah, they have like a constant snarl on their face, like, yeah, I'm the toughest guy.
I'm looking at like the pictures of these two guys who, clearly they never smiled. There's no smiling whatsoever. One of them, it's interesting. What we got for the weekend or for tomorrow?
Oh man, so let's see what we have for tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be a plug, a stop in the music review because Tyler will be in. So we will be reviewing the series, the Who Killed WCW series. We will continuing our journey down that series. So
that'll
tomorrow
make him super happy.
Yeah, we'll be talking a little bit of wrestling tomorrow.
Okay, all right, we'll get back into this. Some hot takes coming in, and apparently a lot of you out there do not like Miracle Whip. We'll go down a path there on that as well. You're listening to the early game.
Hey guys, it's Preston for your broker, my broker, Benji Getzy at Buford Lending. Buford Lending is a true mortgage broker offering the widest variety of government mortgage programs and the best mortgage experience for clients through its state-of-the-art technology and record low interest rates. Their goal is to make your next mortgage experience closing easier, cheaper, faster, and friendlier. Since 1997, Benji and his team have served thousands of investors with their dreams of real estate investing. And Buford Lending specializes in DSCR loans and fix and flip financing. Benji and his team are VA, FHA, and USDA government loan experts and offer competitive jumbo finances. So call Benji Getzy and the good folks at Buford Lending at 843-524-2404. That's 843-524-2404.
We do have a report of a disabled vehicle that might just be getting a little bit of attention. I-26 eastbound, just after I-126, basically around exit 108A. An accident, Clemson Road at I-20, also I-20 eastbound at Bush River Road. Oakcrest Road near North Trenum, and Woodbury Road near Catalina Drive, an accident as well. 91 will be our high today, 94 tomorrow, expecting sunny skies both days. And then we get warmer for the 4th of July. Looks like it's going to be 97. And then for the weekend, highs around 99 with heat indexes of about 110. It's 69 right now.
Get up and jump around, kids. 7:01 on, at least for me, what feels like a Friday. I know it's only Tuesday, but given that this will be it for me until next Tuesday, I'll be out all the way through next Tuesday. Jen will be out for when are you back?
I'll be back on Wednesday.
Wednesday, Jen will be back, so we'll reconvene as a family next Wednesday and get you ready for SEC Media Days, which is now less than 2 weeks away. 2 weeks from yesterday, Shane Beamer will speak over in Dallas, and we'll really get into more talking season. Lamont Paris speaking yesterday to open up the month of July, and we'll play a little more audio from him throughout the morning. Let him talk a little bit about Colin Murray Boyles and a few other topics that we find interesting. So talking season is in full effect, and one of the talking points this morning is, oh boy, you folks don't like Miracle Whip. All right, I have no problem. I have no problem with Miracle Whip. I
do think it's a northern versus southern kind of thing because I didn't grow up with mayonnaise.
Okay.
So that Miracle Whip was the thing.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, what I'm learning every year when we do something, when we hit this point of the summer and some sports topics dry up and we get into a little bit of food discussion, get into more food discussion than normal. Miracle Whip is a very polarizing, dividing condiment. Is it fair to call it a condiment? Is it a?
I mean, I know technically on the jar, I think it says like salad dressing. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's not a salad dressing, but I'm just used to mixing it in things more than mayonnaise, just because that's how I grew up. But down here, boy,
No, I can't do that.
DJ weighs in. Miracle Whip should never be used for anything. Horrible stuff. Keep that up north or wherever it's from. Talk about a product not matching its name. It's no miracle, that's for sure. Good job, DJ. Get the program. Matt weighing in. Miracle Whip is a glorified salad dressing and in no way in the same category as Duke's. Mm-hmm. It's the only mayo.
They're really, to me, they're almost different. I mean, they are, because one's mayonnaise is mayonnaise. Miracle Whip is more of a tangy combining agent or, something. I don't know.
Combining agent.
Marv has been busy texting with us this morning, both sports. Marv understands the program. He's sent us a red kidney bean salad recipe from food.com.
Okay.
He asked us, the baseball program picked up a bunch of JUCO commitments. Should that excite me or worry me? Please tell me I'm overreacting.
JUCO is different than in every other sport. JUCO, the pipeline from JUCO to D1 baseball is very, very strong. That should not make you worried. It might even make you excited because some of those guys in JUCO baseball can play really well. So that could make you excited. I need to check on who those people were, but I understand where that fear might come from. But in baseball, it's very different.
I do feel it's different. Obviously, Ray Tanner made a living, especially during the early 2000s, on landing key JUCO recruits that would come in and help the team.
Yeah.
And then Marv finishes with Miracle Whip is the devil.
Solid. Solid. High A+ text right there.
Several texts coming in from him. We appreciate that. John weighing in earlier this morning. Miracle Whip is a jailable offense below Virginia, Jen.
Wow.
When in Rome.
I'm sensing there might be something sort of against the Miracle Whip. I don't know. Just me.
Yeah. Bobby goes with Miracle Whip is made by the devil.
That's
You guys do not care for the Miracle Whip
I'm
at all.
guessing not even open to it.
Yeah. Dr. Bulldog weighed in this morning. He says, my better half loves the KFC slaw. I'm partial to the Fifth Avenue deli stuff they put on Monroe sandwich.
I can't remember the KFC slaw. You'd have to be a little bit more descriptive on it. Is it
It's
long
definitely
cabbage?
no.
Or is it fine, very fine.
Yeah, it's very chopped up.
Very chopped up.
And I think I kind of prefer that unless I'm doing a more of a more vinegar based slaw. Then you need the shreds, I think.
With you.
Okay. All right. We've got another texter who earlier weighed in with grilled cheese hot dogs on the side for burgers. Look it up.
Grilled cheese hot dogs.
Oh, I feel like this might be a phenomenon, one of these social media phenomena. I have seen this. You put the cheese on top of the hot dog. Then you flip it over and then you let the cheese harden. Then you scrape it up like you would do a grilled cheese, and that way you have a flat thing of cheese on top of the hot dog. Haven't seen this in real life though.
I haven't seen it for life.
This is just what my algorithm sends me when I'm wasting time on TikTok.
Okay. We got a couple of y'all weighing in. Grilled sweet corn on the cob is a preferred side.
It's cool. Good call.
Sounds good.
And if you're wondering what direction we've taken this, let's go back and revisit for a second. I am of the belief that the number one side for the 4th of July is baked beans.
Oh, number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm willing to go. And I'm not even a huge baked bean fan. It's just, it's this time of year.
I'm gonna tell you where baked beans really earn their keep on 4th of July. It's not the beans. It's when you finish the beans and there's still a little bit of gravy
sauce
left over.
Yeah.
And then you rub that hot dog in there.
It's a good point.
Rub that burger in there. That's when it really takes it to the next level.
I'm with you on that. It's a good point made by you. Yeah. So I went with that as the number one side. And at extra points, if you do whatever we called it, we said it was not cowboy.
It's not cowboy caviar, but it's just, like an semblance of baked beans, whether you're throwing your hamburger meat in there,
hamburger,
some
bacon.
onions, maybe some bacon, whatever you're throwing in there, just, adding a little bit of zhuzh to it.
So I went with a strong take there. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone line. Scott wants to weigh in on sides. Scott, what do you got for us this morning?
Hey, guys, good morning. I feel bad even bringing this up because more than likely y'all are going to be salivating at the end of this thing. So I got to premise it because these sides aren't normal sides, but, after a long day of hot dogs and your lunchtime stuff in the evening, it's a mainstay for the last 12 years for me. And it's literally, you usually have a lot of people with you. You want to feed a lot of mouths. And a lot of people aren't super starving, but they want to grab something off a plate, eat it, and everything. So these are a mainstay side and a mainstay for me every 4th of July. It starts off with a big cowboy killer with just salt and pepper at room temp. You grill that up, 4 minutes on both sides, getting it seared well. You can also do, since it's 4 inches to 5 inches thick, you can also do the sides. Throw it in the oven at 475 till you get it to rare, medium rare, or let's not even go any further because there's no reason to ruin a good steak. And then on the side, it's on a big cutting board. I usually slice it, put it where it's nice and, where you can grab it with your fingers. Bacon wrapped asparagus with the sweet corn. I actually make it into like a Mexican street corn, and I always use the small 3 to 4 inch pieces, something you can grab off with your hands and just continue to eat a little bit if you're wanting to grab that last meal before it's called time to go to bed after the Jack Daniels and the and the brown bourbon that you've been drinking, but that, without a doubt, is my absolute favorite. Bacon wrapped asparagus. If you do it right, the bacon will come out crispy with the asparagus on the inside, and it's a fantastic combo.
I'm with him on the bacon wrap. Now, again, I don't know about 4th of July, but I'm with him on the bacon wrapped asparagus. That is, and actually, he sounded like. Thank you for the phone call, Scott. Sounded like he provided a meal for us, a steak and bacon wrapped.
I love it. And also, I'm very big on grabbing food with my hands. So, anytime, especially a steak or something, I can just grab a piece here and there. That way, when you can see the way it works is when you just grab a little bit here and there with your hands, nobody notices actually how much you're eating. Because you don't have a plate, so they're like, "Oh, Preston, you never, did you even eat?" It's like, I'll get something. And you just steady picking the whole time. It's all about deception.
803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. We've also discussed a little bit of NBA free agency, a little bit of soccer, a lot of soccer actually yesterday. Portugal winning in penalty kicks, and then you had the United States losing last night to Uruguay in the Copa America, which eliminated them. It eliminated them, and I apologize. How do you say
Uruguay?
Uruguay. Mm-hmm. And you picked that from where?
One of my good friends, Carlos Fonseca.
There you go.
Me and my guy, Carlos Fonseca. We had a racket running with our parents because he was from Uruguay, and what we would do is, because those South American countries eat their meals earlier, we would just eat at his house at 12, and then we would come back to my house and eat a traditional American. And so we would have these two major meals in the summertime. It was a racket.
Impressive.
It was a beautiful thing we had going on. So you eat your big meal with the South Americans around 12ish, around lunches. You take your siesta, and then you come back to my neighborhood, and then we eat at my house.
Oh,
it was brilliant. We had a scheme all summer.
Is that how the Husky section was doing just fine down in Somerville?
Listen, it was all good. It was all good.
A couple more of y'all weighing in. Matt says, Bill, you deserve to stand on a podium in first place with your baked beans take. Enjoy the rare win this morning. Tiger Hater goes with crock pot cream corn and says chef's kiss. So we'll get to more of these, and also a texter weighs in and says, apparently there are people that have never left Scott's house with that suggestion. It's a good point. We'll get to more of these. Keep sending in your favorite 4th of July sides as we count down. We'll get into a little bit more Lamont Paris and some NBA free agents. We'll talk a little bit about roles on the basketball team. Cam Scott's got to find his. We'll let you listen to Lamont Paris talk about him, and we'll talk about Colin Murray Boyles as well. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. With it being summer, with you having the 4th of July parties coming up, people are going to be tracking dirt and stuff into your home, leaving it on your carpets, your rugs, your tile, your upholstery. But you know what? Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning is ready to offer you an incredible deal. Right now, give them a phone call, 803-262-4020, and mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 15% off all cleaning services. You heard that right. 15% off. Carpets, air ducts, upholstery, area rugs, all 15% off. Just give them a phone call. 803-262-4020. And again, mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game. You can also schedule online, zerorescolumbia.com. Use the promo code Summer Sale when scheduling online. So again, you can go to zerorescolumbia.com, use the promo code Summer Sale, or again, give them a phone call, 803-262-4020. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to say, right way to clean.
I-26 eastbound, just after I-126, the right lane is currently blocked. So caution approaching that area. Also, Clemson Road at I-20. I-20 eastbound at Bush River Road, still working that earlier accident, as well as I-26 eastbound at St. Andrews Road and Woodbury Road near Catalina Drive. 91 today, 94 tomorrow, sunny skies both days. Maybe some clouds rolling in for your July 4th celebrations, 97. Then we hit 99 for Friday and Saturday with heat indexes all weekend around 110. It's warming up right now, 72 on the early game.
$7:18 as we get you up on a July the 2nd. Counting down 2 weeks until I can download, or my son can download, depending on how you want to view it. Or I guess it actually downloads itself. I probably should check with him on this. But college football, EA Sports College Football, the return finally comes 11 years later. Last one was NCAA football 2014.
Very exciting. A lot of people are really excited about this time happening. And like I said, a lot of folks will either be staying up late, missing work, not working, et cetera, but it will be a big day.
That will be a lot of fun there. So our countdown for that is on how many days until Old Dominion?
60.
60. And then at some point, we'll just roll that over and start a countdown to the start of college basketball season. And Lamont Paris, who spoke yesterday, one of the things he talked about, we'll get into this, is the improvements for Colin Murray Boyles this season. Here's what he had to say yesterday, speaking to the media.
One thing, he's naturally unselfish. That's a great quality to have, but, I also am going to encourage him to be more aggressive, to generate offense for himself. So I think that's a real change. He's not going to do that just because I tell him. It's going to take some time for him to really evolve into a guy that is looking to generate offense for himself. We're going to need him to do some of that. And then a byproduct of that is once he gets good at that, teams will try to take that away, and he also can pass. His assist-to-turnover ratio was good last year, particularly for a young big. So I think that's the first thing. Two then is continuing to develop what my go-to will be and then what my counter will be off of that. I think that's the second part of his development that I think can happen this year. And then thirdly, things that can happen this year are continued a continued improvement on the confidence as a shooter for him. He's got really good touch, and I want him to explore that this summer and see what it really looks like, so that by the time November and December hits, we know what it looks like for him and we won't be out there guessing. So those are the areas I'm really looking forward to trying to help him grow as a player.
You heard that first part, Preston, and if you think back to your time, guys who had to change their roles from kind of secondary roles as younger players to leaders. And we kind of, yesterday we played a lot of Nick Eamon-Worry, and this is a year where I think his role really evolves to being a leader of the defense. Like really, last year was kind of maybe a transition. Maybe he was the leader, I don't know. But this year for Nick Eamon-Worry, it really evolves. Well, for Colin Murray Boyles, what Lamont Paris just said is correct. When they go into a game, the other team's going to have Colin Murray Boyles circled as we got to stop that guy first and foremost.
Yeah, the difference is going to be when he puts up a 20-10 night this year, we're not going to be surprised by it. We're not going to act as if it was the greatest thing. It's going to be the expectation of what they wanted from him. He would have games last year, be like, oh, man, he dunked. Did you see him? Look at the young freshman. Wow, that's awesome. That's not going to be the case this year. And so he enjoyed that time last year, and he's going to be expected to perform at those high levels. And that's what Lamont was saying about being able to have a fastball and a changeup. Fastball being the thing that you do, the thing that everybody knows you're going to do, but they still can't stop it. And then in the case that they do stop it, being able to have a counter move from that. So that's one of the things that obviously Lamont said that he's working on developing, but being able to have a very defined skill set and being able to get to your spots and score when you want to.
And that will combine with Cam Scott, who now comes in and has to learn his role. And here's Lamont Parrish yesterday talking about Cam Scott.
Yeah, I think it's been a great transition. We got a lot of older guys. We also have some in-state guys, a lot of in-state guys, and so I think that's helped him specifically. There's an automatic connection with a lot of those guys. I think the fact that we do have a lot of older guys, high quality, high character guys, that there can be some. I guess when a young guy comes into a situation like this, there can be some question marks on how aggressive to be, how, not to step on anyone's toes. And our older group has done a really good job of just encouraging him to be who he is as a player and to be who he is as a person. And I think they've surrounded him and embraced him totally and completely. I think we live in a time where the second plan ends up being the main plan, oftentimes more than ever. And so I don't think for a second that there's anybody that's questioning how it went down or why he's here. Or I think it was with open arms that every person in our program has accepted him, and because that he's flourished this summer. So that'll be part of our goal, is to help a young guy like that who's shown supreme talent try to come as close to his ceiling as he can. There's no way he can get to his ceiling in 1 year. His ceiling would be low if that was the case. But our job is to help him get as close to his ceiling as he can between now and the time that the season starts, and then throughout the season continue to grow.
Really interesting stuff there from him talking about, and I get where he's going with that, the metaphors, if you will, of trying to reach your ceiling. And Cam Scott can end up being a really, really, really good basketball player, but it's not going to happen in just 1 year.
Yeah, well, he's saying that when you come in there and you're Cam Scott and maybe you are a little bit more talented than some of the older guys there, it's hard to figure out what your spot is, and everybody has to recognize sort of the pecking order. How does he earn his stripes as far as being part of the team? Do you want to come in as a brash freshman and take over spots? Do you have to have deference to the older guys? And so a lot of those dynamics have to play out, and that's why they have to spend so much time together in the summertime. That's why those trips to Bahamas are so important, because you learn all of those different things and all of those types of chemistry plays that take place. But from everything Lamont says, that is a process that is going pretty smoothly right now.
And that's obviously going to be important, is how Colin Murray-Boyles and Cam Scott kind of work together, but how Cam Scott kind of finds his home here with guys like Zach Davis, who have been around now for 2 years. You're going to have some transfers coming in that he's going to have to kind of figure out and work with them. It's going to be really interesting. We'll play some more audio as we move through the morning. In particular to me that we'll get to is who can fill Talon Cooper's role as a point guard. That's a massive question for me, and we'll discuss that a little bit more. 803-404-6100. Michael weighs in. I make a homemade dirty rice, onions, bell peppers, pork sausage, and rice with Cajun seasoning. And eating Miracle Whip is the 8th deadly sin. You guys are really, really anti. Hot sauce Ross weighs in bacon-wrapped pickled watermelon rind on the grill.
There's a lot of commas in that description.
Bacon-wrapped, pickled watermelon rind on the grill. He said, crazy, right? It's delicious.
Interesting. I wonder, does it taste like watermelon?
I have no idea.
I don't have a flavor profile for that.
Just kind of curious. Now, here's one. Has anybody made frog eyes?
No.
No.
Okay. That's pickles, like a spear.
No.
And then you wrap it with cream cheese and dried beef, like the buttug dried beef. Not going to lie. It's
Is that a Midwestern thing? Is that a Midwestern thing?
Maybe so. Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I've ever heard that.
Really?
Pickles and cream cheese works though.
Yeah.
Flavor profiles work on that.
And then you just wrap it up with that, like I said, the dried beef, the budding beef.
803-404.
I may have to bring that in for you guys.
Let's see here. KT goes with barbecue or pig picking for the dish. Number 1 side, white rice and hash. Number 2 side, yellow potato salad. And number 3, baked beans. Dessert is peach cobbler or homemade peach ice cream.
Good solid meal. Solid meal overall. I love the detail on the yellow potato salad because that means you threw a little mustard in the mix. That means you threw a little mustard in the mix, and that's a good look. It's a good look.
By the way, if you missed it, Preston's got a lot of potato salads. I didn't know there was so many potato salads out there.
A lot of variations that you could go because you never know if somebody's throwing the mustard in the mix. Do they put eggs in here? What's going on with that? There's a lot. Relish. What's your situation on that?
Some put in onions, some people don't.
What's the onion content, sugar content? What's happening here?
Okay, and then I'll leave you with this, and we'll hit the break because this fits what you kind of talked about dipping the hamburger or the end of the hot dog into the sauce of the baked beans. Joel says the trick is to scoop the baked beans with the potato chip.
That's it. That's why the Lay's, the regular potato chip.
I've seen people do that.
Get that scoop in there.
There you go. And if that's the case, then there you go. Another reason why I put my vote behind baked beans is the number 1 4th of July side. 4th of July.
Yeah, that other meal was more of a barbecue side.
Yeah,
which is great, and it works. But I think specifically 4th of July. 4th
of July, I'll be honest. The 4th of July, as we know, is on Thursday this year. So that means you got the 5th, the 6th, the 7th to kind of celebrate. 8th, on the 8th, baked beans are out.
It's done.
Baked beans are done. They can go back in the can and sit for a whole nother year. You can forget that. 803-404-6100. We'll get into a little more basketball. NBA free agency as well. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for Love Chevrolet, where the summer savings are rolling on. That's right. You can get out and celebrate these incredible summer savings where the entire lineup of award-winning Chevys are on sale. Unprecedented. This is unprecedented right now, and you need to get out to Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, where you can find the ride of your dreams. So go visit those 14 acres of brand new Chevys. Find out what I'm talking about. That incredible sales staff, so friendly, so courteous, so knowledgeable. They know this is a big decision. It's like bringing home a brand new family member. That car, truck, or SUV is going to take you to all kinds of sporting events, all kind of great kids events. They're going to take you on vacations. You want to find the car, truck, or SUV that fits your needs, and at Love Chevrolet, they understand that. That's why they take time to talk with you about it. So go visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, and together, let's drive.
And of course, we're taking a look at the traffic conditions out there this morning. Woodbury near Catalina Drive still working that earlier accident. Also, I-26 eastbound at St. Andrews Road. I-20 eastbound at Bush River Road. And Clemson Road at I-20, also a report of an accident there. We're looking for a high today of 91, 94 tomorrow. For your July 4th, it looks like we're going to be hitting about 97, and then it warms up even more for the weekend. 99 on Friday and Saturday, 97 on Sunday, but those heat indexes hitting about 110. Right now, it's sunny, breezy, and 70 on the early game.
$7:34 as we roll along here on your Tuesday morning. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, as we head into kind of the vacation, the true vacation portion of the summer, Preston Thorne. And this is also, as you have said, this is unfortunately where teachers now start to have their own countdown, and it's not a good countdown.
Yeah, you just start looking around the corner. You're just peeping around the corner. You know, like if it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
You know, like you heard something in the distance. You know, you're still walking through the woods, and everything's still good, but maybe that shark fin just peeked his head above water just a little bit. You're like, okay, I don't know. Yeah. Something's happening.
So we got that, but we'll get through. Again, I'll be out starting tomorrow until next Tuesday. Jen will be out till Wednesday. Preston and Tyler will hold the fort down for us here. We will all be off on Thursday and Friday, and again reconvene next Wednesday to just break down exactly what all we've been doing the last few days. Chris weighs in. FYI, the 11th commandment states, "Thou shalt not break spaghetti in half." The 12th commandment is, "Thou shalt not use Miracle Whip." I've never seen everybody so together on one topic, by the way.
Who says we're divided?
Yeah, I've never seen everybody so together on one singular topic as their dislike of Miracle Whip for that. The co-pilot weighs in. This is different. What I'm about to read to you, Preston, this is not a 4th of July meal, but this is just, I think the co-pilot's just bragging here. Venison backstrap jalapeno poppers, bacon-wrapped Brussels sprouts with brown sugar sauce.
That feels a little bit fancier than we're going for 4th of July. 4th of July, there is a certain campiness to 4th of July.
That's a good point. That's a very good way.
It's kind of, I stopped short of saying trashy, but there's definitely a vibe to 4th of July food. And when you start having jalapeno,
doesn't feel like you can cook that with a tank top on.
Exactly.
If you have to have sleeves on your shirt to fix that,
exactly.
I feel like, and probably a collar too, and that is definitely the 4th of July. You need a little sunscreen on your nose, maybe a backwards hat, and no sleeves on your shirt. I feel like is the official uniform.
Sandals.
Yeah, sandals. The official uniform of all grilling moms or dads out there for the 4th of July. 803-404-6100. NBA free agency. Players cannot officially sign yet. They can agree to contracts. And yesterday, Jason Tatum reaching the largest deal in NBA history, but that might have been overshadowed by, as you said, new Klay Thompson. And I thought it was a good pickup. Dallas Mavericks scoop him up.
I guess it's a good pickup. We'll see what he has to offer. I know he does. Hopefully he can still offer the sort of spot-up shooting, whereas Klay was a 3-and-D guy. The defense is not going to be there just because I think he has physical limitations. But as I said yesterday, that's it. I think it's official. The Warriors dynasty as we knew it is over. And I was just looking at some of the numbers. You think about Klay. I heard this earlier today. Klay, Steph, and Draymond played 400 games together. That's a long time to be a particular unit. 4 titles. Or a dynasty. If you think about them as the Spurs, they're as close to them as you can think. Only one that probably in modern times is going to be the Bulls with 6, but 4 is very close. And so that was a dynasty that is now over, and Klay was a huge part of that with being the Splash Brothers and with that being over. But the Warriors were in a difficult spot because Klay Clay sees himself as the old Clay. The Warriors are looking at him and saying, listen, man, we appreciate all you did, but you're not the same guy due to injuries. And I applaud the Warriors front office for not making that deal, not letting their hearts sort of get in the way of making that transaction.
He did average, it was his lowest since 2012, 2013, but he did still average 17.9 points per game. I think he goes to the Mavs. I don't know if he puts them over the top. As you said, this is an older Clay, but he does do something which is open the floor for Luka and Kyrie to kind of do what they like to do. Now you've got a very good spot-up shooter out there. Yeah, Kyrie just out there, Uncle Drew and all that, just messing around. But I think that's the part about it. Now, does he go in there and fit in the starting lineup? I don't know. Is he willing to accept a bench role? That's where his unhappiness developed this year, coming off of the bench for Golden State. He was pulled from the closing lineup in February where he didn't finish a game. And that's what led to a lot of this for him. And now he's got to, much like we're talking about with Colin Murray Boyles and Cam Scott, and we'll play some more audio from Lamont Paris, but finding your role and accepting your role and knowing it.
Accepting your role. He couldn't accept that his role had changed in Golden State. He wasn't the Clay. Oh, well, he couldn't accept that. And it's tough. Maybe in a new environment, new people around, maybe he'll be able to see himself in a different way now. But it is difficult to know that you've been the guy for so long in this uniform, and now all of a sudden, when games are tight, they're pulling you out of game. That's a little bit difficult to accept. So, he's moving on. Clean start for him, and we'll see where it goes.
You go back to what you mentioned, Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green accounted for 518 wins in the regular season and playoffs. That's the sixth most by a trio all time. 98 playoff wins together, ranked third in NBA history, and 4 titles are tied with, as you mentioned, the Spurs, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Tim Duncan for the most by an NBA trio over the past 50 years. So I guess they don't count the Tony Kukoc, although I don't know how many he won with the Bulls. I don't know if it was 2. But there you go. That kind of tells you.
Yeah, and I mean, just such an interesting group of people, with Draymond being himself and Klay's kind of a space cadet. You never know if he's here or there with the blank eyes and he's just shooting the ball. Steph was lovable and cute and cuddly. It was a great time that has moved on.
803-404-6100. Texter weighs in. The amount of work it takes to prepare Brussels sprouts proves they should not be eaten. Our forefathers didn't fight a revolutionary war for you to eat Brussels sprouts.
I agree, and I like Brussels sprouts. Although there's obviously Brussels sprouts have been breeded to taste better now. So there has been.
I will admit,
that.
I will admit I eat them, but I have the steam in a bag Brussels sprout. Jen, are you Brussels sprouts in there, pro, anti?
I'll tell you, my daughter actually makes them. She does a good job of seasoning them and baking them. So, but for me, I'm gonna let somebody else attempt it. It's just not that big of a thrill for me.
Yeah, no, I basically mine are pre-cooked, and I'm like what Jen just said.
But I agree with Texter. We got the rest of the year to do that.
Yeah,
that's not what we're here for.
That's more of a fall, Thanksgiving-y Christmas food.
It's a random Sunday.
It's when it gets dark at 6 o'clock, and hey, I got to fix the family dinner. Yeah, it's not flip flops and cut off shirts attire. And then Texter weighs in. Last bite, barbecue chip to scoop chili, sauce, or slaw.
Good call.
There you go.
Good call.
There you go. Continue to weigh in with your sides. I'll get to some more of these this morning. Hash and rice is my favorite thing about South Carolina barbecue. That one comes in as well. We'll get into all of that. Also get back into Lamont Paris. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen. It's the early game. Bill Gunner for Mid-State Roofing, Larry Leitner and the family. They are ready to help you because I know right now at 7:45 on a Tuesday morning, you're not thinking about your roof. I know it's windy out there, and we might have some of those summer thunderstorms coming up, and you should be thinking about it, but you're probably not. But I guarantee you, the leader, the proven leader for nearly 30 years in the roofing and waterproofing industry, Mid-State Roofing, they are thinking about it. And that's why 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they are ready to help you with a maintenance contract. Give them a phone call, 803-356-1919. Again, it's 803-356-1919, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You will speak with an on-call technician or a Mid-State Roofing employee, somebody who is ready to get you in a maintenance contract. So whether it's a high-rise or a hospital, manufacturing or industrial, Mid-State Roofing is ready to help you. 803-356-1919. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. $7:47 as we get you up and get you going on your Tuesday morning. If you're commuting, you're heading to work, be safe out there. Get through today and get ready for, hopefully for some of you, a nice kind of 5-day weekend. You take that day off in front of the 4th of July, that day off after the 4th of July, roll into the weekend, and then you're rested, relaxed, ready for the rest of the summer, right?
Yeah, let me make an announcement, man. If it can wait till Monday, let's let it wait till Monday.
Yeah.
Straight up, man. Don't send me a follow-up email or circle back to anything. Not today or tomorrow. If it can wait, let's just all agree to let it wait till Monday.
So
That includes appointments. That includes doctors. Everybody, let's just chill. Everybody just chill.
Just get through.
If it can. Now, if you got to do something, you do it. But if it can wait, let's get it back to it on Monday.
There you go. Because when we come back on Monday, we're
back.
We'll really start focusing in on our countdowns and looking toward SEC Media Days and all those good things. And speaking of SEC Media Days and football, Preston Thorne, did the special teamers ever kind of annoy you?
Shout out to my guy Joey Bowers, man. Nah, man, all our kickers were really cool, but I get how. I mean, I'm just looking at the clip and I'm seeing Kai Kroger come back with a chip on his shoulder. I'm like, all right, man. Let's let
you listen to this. This is Kai Kroger. He was speaking at the Palmetto autograph event last week. Last year was not his best year, so he now has a chip on his shoulder. A punter has a chip on his shoulder. Here's Kai Kroger.
I'd say I definitely do have a chip on my shoulder. Obviously, this last season wasn't the season I personally wanted to have and the team wanted to have. But for me, I try to take away things that I was able to overcome. A lot of stuff was happening off the field and on the field, and just kind of learning how to handle the mental side of it, because that was definitely the hardest thing for me last year. But like I said, it's just being grateful to have the opportunity, and every time to go out on the field is a blessing, and that's kind of how I'm looking at it.
With Shane Beamer, we're always going to probably in some way, shape, or form focus on the special teamers, on the punter, on the field goal kicker. And yes, 2 years ago, Kai Kroger was a big part of success. He had the only touchdown pass against Florida in a 38-6 game, if you remember. And That was ugly. But he was also very good at pinning people inside the 10. Look, I think he was a massively underrated part of beating Clemson up there with his punting ability. But last year, I agree, he wasn't his best. And it's funny to say, but did success get to the punter's head?
Listen, man, punting is a very difficult job. And all the kicker jobs are difficult because we only notice them when it's crucial times.
Right.
And so if a punter shanks a punt, you're on it. You know what I'm saying? If he just punts a regular old punt, it just with no harm, no foul, nobody cares. But you only really notice it if they shank it. So if you don't have a good season, it is noticeable, especially when they've been so good. And it doesn't seem like the offense is going to have, or even last year, is going to have the room for error for your special teams not to be good. That's why we were able to sneak in and win a couple of games, because our special teams were so on point. And last year was sort of an off year for special teams as a whole, not just Kai.
Right, and it'll be interesting. I'll tell you what, Jen, let's let everybody listen. This is also Kai Kroger on working with new special teams coach. We forget there's a lot of things that occurred. One of the things that occurred in the offseason is Pete Limbo taking a head coaching job. We loved Pete Limbo. We loved his press conferences. Joe D. Camillus comes in now, and here's Kai Kroger on working with Joe D.
Awesome, and just kind of learning more and more about him as he's been here. He's like the perfect coach that you'd want to have. Like you mentioned, his experience in the NFL is only going to help us develop in college and to prepare for that next level. His knowledge just on the position and the sport in general is like second to none, and he gives us so many different drills and things we can do that he's seen NFL guys do that benefit us both on the field and off the field.
Yeah, that is an underrated aspect, and I don't know how we will quantify that through the first month of the season. Like, I guess if they're really bad, if they're missing field goals and he's shanking punts and we're dropping punts that we're receiving, you'll look at Joe D. Camillus. But the loss of Pete Limbo, have we made enough of that?
Maybe not. I'm telling you, those special teams kept us and urged us to win a few games in the first two, especially the first 2 years of the Shane Beamer era, and always having it as a consistent threat to other teams that you had to prepare for made it a big difference. So we'll see. That is a big statement. That's a big shoes that Joe D is going to have to fill as far as being a special teams coach, because that was always something that we had in our back pockets. And to be very honest, NFL special teams and college special teams are nothing alike. NFL special teams are very rote. They are very business as usual. We're going to catch the ball. We're going to kick it. We're going to punt it. That's not the same thing that we were doing here. So while he has coached in the NFL, that's great. That's not the same thing as coaching college special teams.
We'll talk more about this, obviously, as we move through the end of July and into August and really start to analyze and break down.
I'm just saying, think of the last time you saw anything interesting happen on an NFL special teams play.
Well, you said, what was it, 2 punt returns, I think in overtime this year, they got returned for touchdowns that ended games? I believe, was it 2? I want to say maybe, or something happened in the Jets game to start the season. I feel like that was.
Oh, yeah, they lost.
Yeah, and then there was another one with the Ravens, I believe. But I know what you're saying, and I get it. And again, it's not something that we've maybe talked about as much, and because you go, well, it's the special teams coach. What, just go get another one. Just catch the ball, kick it down the field. How hard is it? It is something, and also the guiding force that was Pete Limbo for Shane Beamer in situations. So we'll see. We'll talk more about that in the weeks to come. Matt in West Columbia, loaded baked potato salad.
Another variation, which is a salad. That would mean he probably has a lot of cheese in there, sour cream. That is another variation. Also might be warm. I don't know what he's doing with that. Could be a warm deal too.
That just sounds like a loaded baked potato then. But
it's salad though.
In what way, shape, or form?
Cut up, and you don't eat it out of the potato. You eat it out of the bowl.
The good analyzing of that. Next hour, we will put Preston Thorne on the spot. We will take top 3 potato salads. Top 3.
Done.
All right, yeah, we'll get to that, so
Easy.
You can be prepared. We'll continue our discussion on sides, which I feel like we're rounding this into what is specifically the 4th of July sides. And right now, I feel like it's baked beans. I feel like it's potato salad, and then I feel like chips, but kind of dipping. More as a utensil to get whatever fell off of your hot dog, your hamburger, or whatever's left. The chips are there to kind of clean the plate, if you will.
Yep.
There you go. Clean the paper plate. We'll get into that. We'll roll along one more hour. You're listening to the early game.
And out there on the highways this morning, just want to make you aware of a couple things, such as I-26 eastbound at St. Andrews Road. And actually, aside from that, just other things we just got to report. Earlier accidents have been cleared. So that's great news. That's all I have to report is I-26 eastbound at St. Andrews Road. And then I spoke too soon because these just came in. Green Lawn Drive at Garner's Ferry Road and Rabin Road near Ross Road. So those are the accidents we have at this time. And we're looking for a high today of 91, 94 tomorrow, 97 for your 4th of July. The weekend is just going to be hot. Highs in the upper 90s and heat indexes around 110. It's windy right now and 70 on the early game.
8 a.m. At least for me, one more hour before a true summer vacation gets going. Jen also off to Chicago. We'll leave it in the good hands of Preston and Tyler tomorrow. You gotta continue. What's the conversation we've done? You've done sides. We've done the hot dogs. What do you got for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I'm going back and forth. I think there's a couple of things, and it might be the
Gotta go desserts,
once
don't
the
you?
parents go away. Yeah, the desserts is a fair thing, but also beverages.
Oh yeah,
are a big part.
Oh yeah,
Big part of the 4th of July.
it's a good thing I won't be here for that. It would not help the reputation.
Yeah.
803-404-6100. If you want to weigh in, we have covered everything from baked beans, which my hot take: baked beans are the number one 4th of July side, and I thought that was going to be a strong take that might get some pushback. I feel like most people, I've either convinced them or they already knew. And I'm a little surprised by that. But the more I've thought about it, because, yes, again, on Monday, when this 4th of July weekend is officially over, the baked beans go back in the cabinet.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Their moment in the sun is done. They're out, buddy. They're done. No, they don't. They go on nothing for the rest of the year, but they'll come back out next year. Preston's gone with some potato salad.
Yeah, and as I'm thinking, I feel like potato salad has endured, whereas the macaroni salad has not.
Ooh,
has not endured. I feel like that is drifting off by the wayside. And I'm just wondering if there's any macaroni salad fans out there, because that was a thing.
I
just feel like it just hasn't had the staying power that potato salad has had.
If I go to the Publix and, you got the little area right there, it's got all the cold stuff that you got to heat up or you eat it cold, such as potato salad, macaroni salad, baked beans. I feel like it's third on the list.
Mm-hmm. Start, bench, cut.
Yeah.
Cut.
Yeah. But it's not bad.
I just feel like it's a drifting. I feel like macaroni salad, you put it on the table with like the Jell-O, and I feel like it's of a time.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's made quite the advancements that everything else has.
I'm with you. Yeah.
That's what it just feels like.
Yeah. It hadn't quite served everybody's purpose there.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel like it made it. It just doesn't feel like, as times modernized, I don't know if macaroni salad quite made it. But I also like to offer a pasta salad to the
I like a good pasta salad
to the offering on 4th of July as one of your sides. A nice pasta salad will work well too.
Yeah. Tim in Charlotte weighs in. Baked beans once a year, blasphemy. I'm sorry, it's just that I'm kind of with Jen. It's hot. It's obviously a warmer dish. It's just not. I don't know when. Also, I feel like this is just me. I'm speaking for me. I'm not speaking for Preston or Jen or anybody else out there. Baked beans comes in a big tin. You don't have baked beans just in you don't do out of the can. Or if you're going to do it out of the can, there's 3 or 4 cans, and they go into one of those tins that you then put in the oven.
Got to put it in a tin?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Like, I don't need to see I don't need to see anything else. So 803-404-6100. We talked a lot of basketball this morning. Lamont Paris speaking yesterday, and we've covered that pretty extensively. But let's listen to a little bit more. Here you go, Jen. This is cut number 2. This is Lamont Paris talking about bringing back experienced guys for this particular team.
Yeah, I think mission accomplished last year in terms of what we wanted to do as far as getting older and more experienced. And so I think this year we were trying to make a commitment to bringing more experience back, more familiarity back in terms of experience with our program. So I think we again will have an older group. I probably aspire to have an older group overall as we continue to move forward, but that's also going to always have some younger guys in my plan. So I think what we wanted to do this year was to address some of the needs specifically that we would have with some of the departures that we had from last year. I think we were looking at trying to add some athleticism if we could in certain areas too, and I think we did that. I think we did a good job of filling some of those holes. It might look a little bit different. I don't know if we have an interior guy who's as skilled from the perimeter as a shooter as we did with BJ Mack. but we have some guys that have some other qualities that are really will be really helpful in our plight to compete again in the SEC. So I'm really happy with our group. Really happy with what we were able to add, and again, just looking forward to the process of building and developing and helping these guys, become better basketball players.
Preston, you saw multiple teams in your time. I think one of the things you hear Lamont Paris talking about there is having an older team, and they did go from being a young team in year one to an older team last year. And really, even though you bring in some younger players in Cam Scott and obviously Jordan Butler, another transfer is a younger player. But again, should be an experienced team.
Yeah, and Lamont strikes me as somebody that didn't surprise me when I heard him say that he likes dealing with older players. Because
very true. He doesn't seem to have he couldn't deal with the kindergarten that.
I don't think Lamont would be and Dawn found out last year about the daycare.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Lamont is here for very much of that. Like I just don't see like a lot of the shenanigans that you have to deal with when you're dealing with freshmen and young people, younger players. Lamont feels more comfortable having a group of guys, as we talked about last year, very business-like. We can go into our meetings, do our X's and O's, have real basketball talk. That feels like that's more his lane as opposed to maybe some of the, not in a negative way, but just some of the babysitting that you have to do when you have young teams.
Yeah, he wants mature guys to deal with his maturity and his way of handling everything. Obviously, the other news yesterday, South Carolina hires a former assistant.
Now, he was here with Frank. With Frank, okay.
Yep. And when Frank was let go, he left and followed Frank to UMass. Will Bailey is the coach. We'll see. In basketball, there's a lot of, unless you're just an absolute ace recruiter, and those guys are few and far between. I don't know what it means, and I don't know if it matters. It matters to an extent, but I don't know.
Now, I'm not as familiar with the basketball assistant coaching roles as that work. Like you said, you have your ace recruiter. Okay, are there other guys who is a defensive genius or somebody who's maybe works more with the post guys, or what? How does that usually break down?
Tim Buckley was supposed to be the shot doctor.
Okay,
the guy who could fix a shot, and to each his own. I dealt almost strictly with assistant coaches when I had my scouting company, and when I did work with ESPN and 24/7 Sports. They are the guys that have to do the grunt work and get things done. What you need is a guy who, for lack of a better term, is almost not dedicated to his family, who's dedicated to doing you. I talked to one coach one time, and he had an assistant that was always with him that he took everywhere. And he said that assistant, within reason, would every night fix a glass of bourbon and would just text and stay in touch with probably 20 recruits. And that's all he did. Sit on his couch and that was how they landed players, just those relationships. And you got to have that kind of stuff. Everybody's going to get out in June and July and during the scouting periods. But Will Bailey comes back. He was an assistant last year at Loyola Chicago. So that'll make it still kind of it'll actually make it a little bit more of a younger staff, if you will. But Bailey's been here. He's familiar with the SEC. He should get it. He knows what this job entails. He knows the difficulties of being an assistant coach here. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a Lamont Paris deal, more so in basketball than it is in football, where you have an offensive and defensive coordinator. Now, you might have somebody who specializes in something. I think it was Brad Underwood for Frank Martin, who was deemed like the post-coach guru, if you will. But he had that reputation. I don't know if anybody on this staff has one of those reputations necessarily.
Gotcha.
803-404-6100. Let's get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Ted wants to weigh in this morning on 4th of July sides. Ted, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Doing great. Hello, Preston.
What's up, man?
Yeah, Bill. I know you've had my famous coleslaw. I can't believe y'all left off the coleslaw. The coleslaw on top of hot dogs, when you cook those, are fantastic. And it's also good. Coleslaw is also great with your ribs, your barbecue ribs and stuff. So I'd always add coleslaw to my July 4th meal, which I will do very shortly. What y'all think about that?
Definitely appreciate it, and obviously there's variations. So I think it's only right that we have to, for the last hour, we have to go with a start bench cut.
Okay.
We have to go with a start bench cut. What are you starting? What are you benching? What are you cutting? Because it seems as if baked beans, potato salad, and coleslaw are in the mix, and I think we have to figure out we only have so much space on this plate.
Right.
If we're going with the dividers that Jen talked about earlier. There's the big space for your meat,
Right.
and then there's 2 other spots. What are you doing with those 2 other spots? That's the question.
Okay. I like that.
That's where I feel like we're at.
And I will say, yep, Tim in Charlotte goes with you, Ted. He says slaw dogs are elite. And I will admit a good homemade coleslaw, because as you mentioned, it's all in what you kind of like in your slaw, whether you like it a little more peppery, whether you like a little more mayo in it. And I forget what Ted, what was your specialty ingredient in there?
Really, with my coleslaw, it's the easiest stuff to make in the world. I would buy my cut up coleslaw mix from Kroger's, and they have the best. I don't work there. I'm retired. But also, all I add is salt and pepper, mayonnaise, and the key ingredient is pepper something. Good gracious, I can't even say it. Poppy seed dressing. And that's it. And you've eaten my coleslaw with some of our cookouts at the lake. Vic's. So that's all it takes. And I'm going to tell you, when I take it to outings and stuff, it is one of the first things that it is always gone. I cannot cook enough. In fact, we had a meeting not long ago, and not as big a crowd as we expected. I still ran out of coleslaw. So that's my favorite, without a doubt. But I appreciate y'all listening to me.
I appreciate the phone call and hope you have a great 4th there as we move into that weekend. A couple of y'all weighing in. We'll get into more of these sides, give you some other options here.
I do have one declaration if you want to get to that potato salad conversation.
We'll get Preston's top 3 potato salads, a declaration, and kind of a start bench cut. What are you doing with your other 2?
There's just 2 spots on this plate.
What are you going with?
It's a divider plate. There's 2 spots left. What are you doing?
And again, mine is going to be entirely. It's only for this. What I'm putting on my plate is something I will not eat the rest of the year, and that's not just baked beans. And we'll talk about that. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game. You heard Jen give that weather report just a little while ago, and it's going to continue to be very hot here. Of course, it's Columbia, and in Columbia, you better have a good air conditioner. You better have a good team that is going to take care of you, and AAA Heating and Air is that team. They took care of me over a year ago, putting a brand new heating and air unit in the house, and it has been absolutely phenomenal. And on these hot days, it has kept the Gunner family nice and cool. And they'll do the exact same thing for you, and they'll do it at an incredible price, because right now, if you call AAA Heating and Air, you can get no payments and no interest. Let me repeat that. No payments, no interest until 2025. So call AAA Heating and Air today. You can even get a free replacement estimate. 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. But again, no payments, no interest until 2025 when you call AAA Heating and Air. Just make sure you tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Green Lawn at Garner's Ferry do have a report of an accident there, as well as I-26 eastbound at St. Andrews Road. I-77 southbound at Forest Drive have a tie-up there. And one more to let you know about, and that's Raven Road near Ross Road. Looking at 91 for the high today, 94 tomorrow, 97 for the 4th of July. And then we warm it up even more, 99 on Friday and Saturday. And really heat indexes throughout the weekend of around 110. So it's not going to get any cooler for some time. But right now, it's warming up a little bit. It is kind of windy out there, 71 on the early game.
$8:19 as we roll along here on a Tuesday morning, the second day of July, as we get you up and get you going here, heading into the really 4th of July weekend. I think for a lot of people, it probably starts tomorrow. It may have already started last week, and you're taking the whole week off, but we've spent this week talking, or the last 2 days, hot dogs, 4th of July cookouts, and so our message board mayhem goes out to couple of y'all who are weighing in, such as Pat. Pat goes, Preston, no mac and cheese? I'm shocked. Unless I missed that part. That's a good tier cookout side. Yeah, we've stayed away from the mac and cheese discussion this morning. Mac and cheese just, I feel like it's dropped a couple spots. It's lost a couple games. It's moved down, Ted.
Yeah, mac and cheese is always going to be on a cookout menu, and I think there's a slight distinction here between 4th of July and cookout. So the cookout is just going to be a general gathering of people. It might be for a day, it might be for a family day, it might be for a celebration. Then you would have mac and cheese on the menu.
And
but maybe not for 4th of July.
And I think that's actually legitimate. And I think, like on the live stream now, they did make a good point. Macaroni salad.
Yeah.
Did macaroni salad instead of a mac and cheese.
Just no, two different things.
Correct.
We're not going to substitute them. I just feel like macaroni salad is kind of like maybe Nebraska football, you know?
It was good at one time.
There was a time when it was really good, and it just hasn't made the transition into the modern era of eating. But, you know, we can still celebrate it as it was great, but just hasn't made the transition.
Okay, I'm with you.
But macaroni and cheese does deserve a spot at the cookout for sure, but maybe not at the 4th of July celebration.
Yeah, it feels like that's an off week. It feels like macaroni and cheese goes on vacation for the 4th of July, comes back really for other things starting in the fall when you got when you got to do the family dinners for kids going to school, or obviously, and it ramps up there around Thanksgiving, Christmas, makes an appearance at Easter, and then kind of takes the summer off.
Maybe, yeah. It takes the relaxes in the summer.
And that's how we do our food segment here. A little more message board mayhem this morning, though, working off of the text line. Tim in Charlotte says, in and out of a post-gym walk, and all I can think about is where I can get a hot dog at this time of day.
Nice.
You burned 500, and now you're going to gain 1,000. Good job.
803-404-6100, how you can weigh in on that. I did get this text in. Trey weighed in. And we did discuss this a little bit. Can we discuss how terrible the United States men's soccer team performed during the Copa America tournament? Does Berhalter get canned? A little more message board mayhem. We read ESPN. I mean, this is when you know you've done something bad or you're really struggling, because as Americans, we don't get this fired up about soccer. We're getting there. We were going to have Tony Annan in to maybe not only talk Oasis and 4th of July, but also talk baked beans, but also talk soccer. When ESPN's got an article up, and it says why U.S. soccer needs to move on from Berhalter after Copa America failure. This is what Portugal does if they lose yesterday to Slovenia, who I think they play. This is what England does when they lose.
Yeah.
And so we're getting there as Americans where we're taking our soccer more seriously. But when ESPN puts that up, it tells you somebody's really failed.
Yeah, and I won't speak for Bill. I do not claim to be a soccer expert at all. But when I see all of the experts having this conversation, now I have to go. And it feels like this conversation has been building for a while. And when I see nice, mild-mannered, as pleasant as they come, Jay Phillips put up as close to Jay can come to an angry tweet.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I know the alarm has been pulled. Jay Phillips voices his displeasure. Maybe there's an issue.
The article states the stagnation of one of the best crops of United States soccer talent was there for all to see as Greg Berhalter's team meekly bowed out of the Copa America on Monday. And, this time of year, we've got Wimbledon going on. You've got the the international soccer tournaments taking place, and we got Major League Baseball. And that's about it right now. Lamont Paris speaking yesterday, which helped us out, gave us a little bit of audio. We've played a lot of that this morning. But, soccer just – look, the World Cup's coming here. We don't want to embarrass ourselves and fall flat on our face in the World Cup.
Well, I think the problem is, and this is, again, not an expert opinion, but what I've gathered is that we finally have the young talent to go out there and compete, whereas – in years past, we just say, we just don't have the talent of these other places. Well, now I think we've finally cultivated that young talent, and we have some guys, Kristen Pulisic, these guys that can play on international levels, but the team is not performing. And from my understanding of it, that is the biggest issue, and Berhalter doesn't seem to be the person that can get them to the next level.
Yeah, so we'll watch it. We'll catch up. I believe Tony Annan will actually be in with us next Tuesday. He'll be in, and we'll have to revisit the Oasis conversation, the baked beans, but also we will get his opinion on that. Is honestly a month from tomorrow we get the soccer match over at Williams-Brice Stadium.
Wow,
so
yeah.
Liverpool and Manchester United takes place August 3rd, a month from tomorrow. So we will also the same night we find out if we won our Star Award. Star Award for Best Sports Talk Radio Show here in South Carolina that we were nominated for, one of two shows for Best Sports Talk Show. Little quiet brag there. 803-404-6100. We got Josh Harris coming up from Darlington Raceway. We're going to do our Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge in the next segment, but we may have to figure something out here on this because Jerry weighs in, and maybe we can get a T-shirt signed by all three of us here and send it to the winner. But Jerry says, how about a contest of best-looking 4th of July plate, Preston Thorne? We could send them in through the week, and y'all could decide the winner next week.
Some people use social media to look at politics. I don't know why you would do that. Some people look at cats. I personally love looking at plates of food.
Okay.
So this is right up my alley. I
like that.
Scroll endlessly at plates of food. I like to see the configurations, how you set it up, what's your strategy. I'm all for it.
Okay.
Colors, what's going on with this? I am here for this.
So maybe starting Monday, you take your pictures over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Take your pictures over the weekend and send us in. Winner, we'll get a winner. We'll text back. We'll choose a winner and text back, and we'll send a signed special edition. Signed 1075 The Game shirt from Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, and Jen Jensen.
I like it. I like this. This makes my heart happy.
Not only will you have a 1075 The Game shirt, you'll have an official signed one. So
People will love that. Actually, maybe we should have it where, you've have the fingerprints of mac and cheese and barbecue sauce. A nice huge.
We'll have barbecue sauce. We'll wipe our mouth and we'll wipe our mouth on the shirt. So you'll have an official
DNA shirt. That'd be amazing. I was actually just going to say fingerprints. I thought that'd be a little more fun.
We'll figure something out. Yep. So write that down. If you get one starting Monday, I'll be out.
Yeah, you got a picture.
Tuesday.
You're gonna take a picture, so just save it and we'll call for it.
And we'll choose a winner. We'll choose a winner next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday.
When Jen's back, and the winner will get a signed 1075 The Game shirt from the three of us.
Good call.
Up next, Josh Harris from Darlington Raceway joins us. We will catch up with him and look ahead to the Chicago Street Race this weekend. You're listening to the Early Game.
Preston here. Let me tell you about my friends at Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. So if your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. If it's a cracked windshield, no problem. They'll come out to your location and replace it for you, usually for free, and they work directly with the insurance to take away the headache. Yes, they will come out to wherever you are, school, home, work, 4th of July cookout, it doesn't matter. Absolute Glass will come out and take care of it for you. Now, if you're at home and you're looking to increase the value of your home, you can do that with new windows and mirrors, and Absolute Glass will take care of that for you too. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. As I say all the time, if you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
Raven Road near Ross Road still working that earlier tie-up, as well as I-77 southbound at Forest Drive. I-26 eastbound at St. Andrews Road. And still a report of a tie-up there, Green Lawn at Garner's Ferry. And I-70, the actual one, Green Lawn at Garner's Ferry just got cleared. So cross that one off the list. I-77 southbound at Forest Drive, though, still in progress. And we're looking for a high today of 91. And 94 tomorrow, 97 for the 4th. For the weekend, upper 90s and heat indexes of about 110. Ugh, it's breezy. 71 right now in the early game.
.33 as we roll along here on a Tuesday morning, getting ready for 4th of July weekend. And given that the 4th of July is on a Thursday and we are not working that day, we are joined now for a special Tuesday edition of the Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge with Mr. Josh Harris, Darlington Raceway president, a man who last week picked up 4 more points in our Corley Pool Solutions Challenge. Unfortunately, you are now tied with Preston for last place. Congratulations.
Thank you, I think. Hey, we're halfway through the season. There's nowhere to go but up, and we got 2 consistent finishes, so we're going to build on it.
That's the attitude. You're right. You have picked up 8 points in the last 2 weeks, while I have only picked up 3. Reggie's picked up 4. So ground is closing. Reggie's in the lead, 4 points ahead of me with 69 points. I'm got 65. Jen has quietly worked her way up the standings. I think she's just zooming. She's not running out of gas like they did at the end of that race. Jen got into it a little bit yesterday, Josh. Your thoughts on a wild, 5 overtime finish there in the Nashville race this past weekend?
Well, it was exciting to be there. I took the boys and we went on a little road trip, and we're there for that one. And man, yeah, that finish, we were really my youngest Anderson, he is a big Chastain fan, and so he was in a good position. Hamlin passes him, and so he was all right with second. And then we get those overtimes, and man, being there for history happening with 5 overtimes was pretty cool.
And probably a case of, as you're watching, like, okay, seriously? Again? And I'm sure everybody, once they get going, because the adrenaline is so high, you're literally in the last 3, and potentially last 3 laps of the race. So your adrenaline certainly is high, like, okay, we're going, and then, son of a gun, But it did seem odd, the fuel strategy. And what is it with Blaney's team and, like, just quite not getting this with the fuel strategy? I don't understand.
Well, it's funny or interesting because, Blaney's had his issues with it, but then on the other hand, Logano always, just going back through his career, has always seemed to do better at conserving fuel. Now, I did hear where Chris Gable, Hamlin's crew chief, said the reason they were able to save so much fuel is because they were slow. Which maybe there's some merit to, there's all kinds of strategies involved in trying to get to an end of the race. And if you think, hey, our only shot is to try to run long here and see if we can conserve fuel over the whole distance. Ultimately, it worked out for Joey, got his win, and several cars crashed there at the end that really had a change in the outcome of that race.
And to see the people who finished in the top 10, Zane, I still go back to Zane Smith coming in second when he's just not had a stellar season. What a spike for them, for them to be able to have that, and maybe they can build some momentum off of that. I don't know.
Yeah, he's had a tough rookie season in that third Spire car, and just with where they are in the standing, kind of shows the results they've seen week over week. They just haven't been able to run up front. So maybe this gives that team a little bit of boost of confidence and momentum heading into Chicago and the street race, where honestly I don't know that we really know what to expect given all the weather challenges we had there last year. Hopefully we get some clear weather on Saturday and Sunday, can see what these guys can do around the streets of Chicago.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see where they drive literally on a track that is dry and not full of missing this puddle or that puddle, and everything being abbreviated as far as just all the activities and things like that. I'm really looking forward to it.
61 days, 9 hours, 22 minutes, and it counts down under 2 seconds right now until the Cookout Southern 500. We know you've been traveling, been busy, and several more races to get to Darlington, but how are things progressing there here as you work your way? We always got to get one quick update from you as you work your way through your first year there at Darlington.
Well, it's a busy summer. You know, everyone tries to take a little bit of time off with family and everything, and we're doing that ourselves. But all the while getting ready for the 75th running of the Cookout Southern 500. You know, ticket sales are looking good. We've had 3 consecutive sellouts going back the past few years, so we're on track for that again, and can't wait to be under the lights here for the regular season finale for the Cup Series and set the field for the playoffs.
Yeah, you can go make sure if you want tickets, go to darlingtonraceway.com. They've got the tickets up there. You can get the pre-race experience going on. And, again, a lot of really cool things taking place. Go to darlingtonraceway.com. We'll really start to count down, as you just said. Now, I forgot, you two definitely know better than I. What is it? There is a 2-weekend break. Is that right for the Olympics? They're
Correct.
taking 2 weekends off?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Yep. So that kind of changed the schedule for the entire year as far as getting all the races in. So they're starting to come out with some information about the 25 season. We can talk about all of that later. But that should actually put Darlington back to start the playoffs. Is that correct? Or potentially?
Yeah, I think that's where it's looking. You know, I believe the schedule will probably come out sometime in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have that official. But for me, I've said it a lot, is, you know, Labor Day weekend is, for the Southern 500, is the most important on our checklist. And,
Yep.
you know, if that means we're the regular season finale, we're going to embrace that. We're going to have a lot of drama. If we're the start of the playoffs like we've traditionally been over the last 8 to 10 years, then we'll take that too. So, I think it's an exciting time for us to have this cutoff race, setting the field for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we're back in the playoffs next year, we'll be ready for that.
Yeah, really, you're in a good position either way. So kind of a nice place to be.
That's right.
6 races to go before Darlington, and that starts this weekend with the Chicago Street Race, where Jen Jensen will drive up there and will try to get somehow into a car and participate.
Oh, yeah, right.
And we will all be keeping an eye on a lot of cool activities going on. I was just reading the pre-race activities for this weekend. I know on Friday the Chicago Cubs are hosting a NASCAR day during the Cubs-Angels game. The Cubs are actually offering special tickets to fans with a limited edition Cubs checkered flags, which is pretty cool. But what do we expect? Year 2 of the Chicago Street Race. One thing I did not understand, and I'm not sure which one of you wants to answer this. It says the course for this year's race, and then it kind of tells me what it is. It also says the course layout is subject to change. How does that work? Josh?
Yeah, I don't know. I know our team's up there building the track right now, and
they have been for weeks.
That may have been early on. I know they were looking at just, you know, the length of the race and some other factors just to make sure, you know, there's no lights, and they're starting that one later in the afternoon. So want to make sure they can get to the distance. So I know they made a little bit of adjustment in the number of laps and the distance of the race. I think the course itself is set.
Yeah, I hope so. We're actually right there where they go into turn 2. So looking forward to watching that again. It was kind of fun to see them head into. We could see them kind of coming out of turn 1 and heading into turn 2, because it's a good right turn, right angle. But I'll report back. There's a lot of activities before all weekend long, and it'll be nice to actually experience some of that instead of it just being a big rain fest.
Should be a lot of fun. So let's make some picks here. We're doing this a little bit earlier in the week, which handicaps me a little bit because some of the betting odds have not come out yet.
No.
That's a bit of a problem. So I'm going to have to kind of do this and just go with a certain driver if he arrives in my lap that I normally take. But let's start our Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge. And I tell you what, we'll go with Preston first. Preston with 59 points right now, tied with Josh. Preston, we will let you choose first since you only picked up 2 points last week.
I had 2 choices, and my first choice is very difficult to pronounce, so I'm going to go away from that. But I'm going to go with A.J. Allmendinger.
Okay.
That's a good call.
The first one was a little
He's a
Little
good
tough.
road racer.
There we go. AJ Allmendinger. That's my guy.
Okay. All right. AJ Allmendinger for Preston. That brings us to Mr. Harris, who's been hot of late. What direction do you go?
Well, I think if I had to guess, Preston's other choice was maybe Shane Van Gisbergen or SVG. I think that'll be a popular pick here, but I'm going to go with one of our regulars, a guy who wasn't really thrilled with a third place finish last week, but has run well on road courses. I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick.
Yep.
Okay, good one.
That's
Josh,
also on my list.
Josh, you were correct. I feared saying that out loud, so I shot away from it.
Very good. Okay.
All right. AJ's a good pick.
No fear there. That brings us to Jen. Jen, who will be at the race and will hamper. She'll probably throw stuff at Denny Hamlin as he drives by, try and take him out. Where are you going?
You know what? I'm going to go with a solid road course racer. I'm going to say Kyle Larson.
That actually was going to be my pick.
Then it's a better day for me already.
That was actually going to. That's a good pick. That is a very, very good pick. Yeah, give me. I know nothing. I'm playing this one blind. Give me my guy. Give me Denny Hamlin, of course. That when in doubt, stay with the best driver out there, Denny Hamlin for me, and that leaves Reggie.
And that would give him Chase Elliott, which was also on my list because he too is a really good road course racer.
There you go. There's your picks. Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge picks for the Chicago Raceway. Got about 30 seconds, Josh. Your top 4th of July side. Your top 4th of July side.
Oh, man, put me on the spot. I'm just going to have to go with some baked beans.
Oh
my gosh.
Look at you.
That's
It's like you've listened. You woke up at 5:57 and you've been listening all morning.
Good call.
Man, we always appreciate it. Hope you and the family have a great 4th. Y'all get to enjoy a little more time off, and we look forward to catching up with you next Thursday.
Sounds good. Jen, enjoy Chicago. Can't wait to hear about it.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks, Josh.
Take care. Josh Harris, Darlington Raceway president. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up. And move forward. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for Mid-State Roofing. For nearly 30 years, Mid-State Roofing has been the leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. It's their history that is your assurance that they will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility, and they'll do it in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. So whether it's a high-rise or a hospital, a manufacturing or industrial, Mid-State Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that keeps your operations, again, dry and running long into the future. And they do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Doesn't matter when you call. It could be 3 a.m., could be 7 a.m. You either speak with an on-call technician or a Mid-State Roofing employee who will help you with a maintenance contract. Give them a phone call today, 803-356-1919. Again, that's 803-356-1919. You can also check them out on the web, midstateroofing.com. If you've got a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek. Bill Gunner for the Ecton Law Firm. If you've had some tax issues, if you've got stress from taxes, it's time to call John Ecton and his team. They can offer a free consultation. So whether you're here in Columbia, whether you're in Florence, Myrtle Beach, or somewhere else this morning, listen on our 107.5 The Game app, John Ecton and his team are ready to give you the peace of mind you deserve as it pertains to your taxes. Whether it's business or personal, John Ecton and his team have a proven solution that will help you get rid of the stress. So give them a phone call, 803-771-9800. Again, that's 803-771-9800. The Ecton Law Firm understands the challenges you are facing with the IRS, and they are ready to help you. But it requires you making that phone call first, and time is limited. 803-771-9800. Contact the Ecton Law Firm today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. Wrapping it up, been a lot of discussion about basketball this morning as it pertains to Lamont Paris, who spoke yesterday. We'll get you one more quote from him here in just a second as it pertains to wardrobe and weather and all those kind of things. We'll also try and get to Steve Sarkisian. But again, big thank you to Josh Harris for joining us there in the previous segment. Always fun to talk to him. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. Let's let you listen. This is Lamont Paris yesterday on the versatility of the quarter zip, Preston Thorne. You work with me every morning. You've seen it. I have a nice collection of quarter zips myself. Most of them are thin, so they can be worn during the summer. Here's Lamont Paris discussing, though, the versatility of his quarter zips.
Perfect quarter zip weather. Perfect quarter zip weather. It doesn't get any better than that. And then you come in here today. I don't know what the temperature is here. I don't have a thermometer on, but it was chilly in here today. So I'll tell you, the versatility of the QZ. You can go from outside to inside, the heat doesn't get me. If it starts to get a little warm, I burn a couple extra calories. Lord knows I need to do that anyway, so.
Love it. He's leaned into it. He's bought in, much like Spurrier in the visor. Lamont Paris has leaned into the quarter zip.
Yeah, it's his thing. He's adopted it. He's adopted it. It's become his thing. In the heat, in the cool, he's wearing his quarter zip. I appreciate it.
And there's almost a dad joke-esque vibe to the way he is proud of it.
Well, we heard his humor last year. We know he has that in his back pocket. He can pull a dad joke out at any moment. So. He's probably waiting on something.
He and Ian Dawn Staley. They're.
Yeah.
You think they exchange dad jokes in a text message? Just
again for Dawn to be so cool. Oh man,
there's a corniness.
a streak that runs straight through her, and she's so cool. She's awesome, and man, I think that's why she can get away with it.
Yeah,
it's like, look at you wearing all this really cool clothes, making these terrible jokes.
Yeah. We will effort Coach Paris to be in studio with us here in the month of July to cut up with him and talk more mac and cheese and washing cars, but also about his basketball program as he did yesterday as they get ready for year 3. Yesterday, Texas held their celebration day, their Texas special day or whatever on the SEC network. Now, I'm interested. I have not listened to this. And I'm not so much playing it for what Steve Sarkisian is saying as much as the background music. This is Steve Sarkisian, though, following the success of last season as Texas makes the college ball playoff. But I think you're more in tune with what is going on in the background here and how is it working. It's our first time hearing it. But here's Steve Sarkisian yesterday on the SEC network.
I think that's the challenge, right? That level of consistency that's needed, not having to just get up for a game or two.
Right.
It's about playing a brand and a style of football consistently, and that starts in the offseason. And if there's anything you take from a Nick Saban and that level of discipline and consistency that he had for himself, that permeated throughout that entire building and that team. So you take some of those things from people that were your mentors, and that's clearly it. Complacency is the devil right now. We have got to stay driven, we got to stay focused, and we need to understand, hey, when we walk out of a tunnel with that helmet on, we're the target, right?
Yeah.
There's no more, we're the hunted. Well, we have to go hunt week in and week out as well.
I have no clue what he just said, but we got Take On Me by Aha.
Yeah. Hitting the most excruciating note of the whole song. That note is hit. And I would also like to note that wasn't the record playing. That was a karaoke band behind. So I don't know what they had going on there, but that was a very interesting selection that we all know. Obviously, we're familiar with Take On Me. Maybe one of the most iconic music videos, right? The Speed Racer music video, and he comes through the screen. We know that one. Interesting choice.
What was happening at that point?
That wasn't the record. That was a karaoke band very much in the background happening. So I don't know. Was that at the party that Mr. 305 was at?
I think he played the
a little
day.
bit earlier?
Yeah.
And you have to follow behind Pitbull?
That's why they brought in the karaoke band. That's why they brought in nobody else was willing to follow.
That was definitely a wedding band behind played, for sure.
That's, there you go. Steve Sarkisian.
And that note, that's a tough note to hit. That's a tough note.
And it just goes to show you, Sarkisian in that clip didn't sound like he was into it at all. He was very focused on giving the right answer to the SEC network on the Texas special day. So there you go. A little Lamont Paris, little Steve Sarkisian. We wrap it up. We have come to the conclusion. So what are we going with? You've got your your plate that's got the dividers.
Yeah, I think my plate and divider, I'm gonna go hot dog. I'm gonna go hot dog for 4th of July with coleslaw and mustard. And then I'm going to go baked beans and a Southern-style potato salad.
Well, what is a Southern-style potato salad?
Probably going to have a little bit of mustard in it. Maybe the potato's going to be a little bit more whipped, possibly some relish, probably a little bit sweeter than your other styles because, that's what we do.
I didn't get to it, but we had a very good text defining the macaroni, how the macaroni salad has really just turned into pasta salad. How it's kind of morphed.
It has morphed. Maybe that's it. It's morphed. It's no longer the triple option anymore. It's the RPO game.
So I'm going chili and ketchup hot dog with baked beans, and I'm actually gonna go with the coleslaw since I didn't put it on the hot dog.
There you go.
There we go. Y'all have a great day. Bill Gunner for the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank. And as we now have hit the back half of the year, we've gone to the second half, you might be looking ahead thinking, what do I want to do with the home situation? Do I want to refinance? Maybe you're looking to build. Maybe you're looking to purchase a new one. Well, the first thing you need to do is contact Jacob Crowder and see what interest rates are available to you, what options are available to you. You never know what's out there until you make the phone call. And Jacob Crowder, the mortgage guru, and First Palmetto Bank are ready to help you. So give them a phone call today, 803-719-1005. Again, that's 803-719-1005. How about something like this? If you're looking to build, First Palmetto Bank has a no-nonsense construction loan that can fit your needs. For more information, make the phone call to Jacob Crowder today and learn how it can fit your needs. 803-719-1005. First Palmetto Bank, locally owned and operated right here in the Midlands, so they have local decision makers ready to help you. Contact First Palmetto Bank and Jacob Crowder today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
I'll start with the good news. The wreck at Green Lawn and Garner's Ferry, that has been cleared, but we still have wrecks at Raven Road near Ross Road, Old Garner's Ferry at Garner's Ferry, and 77 southbound at Forest Drive, exit number 12, a wreck there as well. The weather outlook for today, 91 for a high, but not much chance of those afternoon thunderstorms. So good news there. Wednesday, 94 for a high. Thursday, your 4th of July, it's going to be 97 for a high and getting warmer. Friday and Saturday, 99, with a chance of those afternoon thunderstorms for both of those days. Captain Dave, WIS-TV Traffic Center.
Nine o'clock, welcome in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head, Sam Shapiro from WIS, hanging out with Tuesday, short week. I guess we're technically halfway through the week for those of us that have Thursday and Friday off, though I guess working in news, you probably are on your typical week, no matter the holiday.
Yeah, today's my Sunday, but the holiday pay is nice, and